All right, let's talk about the Aqara U100 Smart Lock. Today, we're going to cut through all the marketing noise and get right down to the real story. What is it actually like to have this thing on your front door day in and day out?
You know, everyone's looking for the holy grail, right? That one smart lock that does everything, looks amazing, and just works every single time. Well, on paper, the Aqara U100 gets dangerously close to being that perfect lock. But in the real world, well, that's where things get interesting. I mean, when you look at the specs and the design, it seems like a total no-brainer. It's sleek, it's packed with features, but the real story here isn't just about the cool hardware. It's about that gap between what's promised in a slick ad and what you actually experience when you're rushing out the door on a Tuesday morning.
So let's start with the promise. What's the dream that Aqara is selling you? What are you supposed to be getting that makes you want to rip your old dumb lock off the door and install this?
And this is so important to remember. A smart lock is not just another fun gadget. It is critical infrastructure for your home. This isn't a smart speaker that can just stop playing music. If this thing fails, you are literally locked out of your own house. The stakes are way, way higher, which means reliability is everything.
And this is why it's so tempting. Just look at this list. It checks every single box you could possibly want. You've got lightning-fast fingerprint access, tons of PIN codes for guests, total control from an app, deep smart home integrations, and the kicker, it does all of this at a price that makes the competition look kind of ridiculous. At first glance, it really does look unbeatable.
And let me be clear, when you first get this thing installed, it feels like it lives up to all that hype. That initial experience, the honeymoon period if you will, is pretty fantastic. You're probably going to feel like you absolutely made the right call.
The very first thing that jumps out at you right out of the box is the weight. This is not some cheap plasticky toy. It's got some serious heft to it. It feels solid, heavy, premium. Even the deadbolt action feels satisfying and secure when it locks. And then there's the design. It's another huge win. It's so clean and understated. It blends right in with your door instead of screaming, "Hey, look at me, I'm a big tech gadget." For anyone who actually cares what their house looks like, that is a massive plus.
But here's the star of the show, that fingerprint reader. And let me tell you, it is fast. We're talking less than a second. Under the right conditions, you just touch it, you hear that click, and you're in. It feels like absolute magic, and it's exactly what you want from a fingerprint lock.
But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? Here's that first little dose of reality. That amazing sub-1 second speed? That's when your fingers are perfectly dry. The success rate is really high for sure, but the second you introduce a little rain, or it's the middle of winter and your skin is cold and dry, yeah, you're probably going to be trying a second, maybe a third time. It's really good, but it's not quite perfect.
Okay, so now we get to the stuff they don't exactly print in big, bold letters on the box. These are the unspoken parts of the deal. The things you usually only figure out after you've already paid for it and are trying to get everything working.
And this is a big one, folks. If you want any of the real smart features, like letting someone in while you're at work or having the door lock automatically when you leave the neighborhood, you have to buy a separate Aqara hub. Without that hub, this thing is basically just a fancy keypad with Bluetooth. That's probably the single biggest gotcha for new buyers.
So as you can see, you're not just buying a lock. You're actually buying into an entire ecosystem. To get that full experience, they show you in the ads. You need the lock, you need the hub, maybe you want some of the NFC fobs. It's a much bigger investment than just that initial price tag on the lock itself.
And here's another one of those hidden details. This lock is, well, it's a bit of a perfectionist. It has a very, very low tolerance for a misaligned door. If your door doesn't sit perfectly flush in the frame, the little motor inside can really struggle to throw that deadbolt. And that'll lead to it failing to auto-lock, making you think the lock is broken, when really it's just an issue with your door.
All right, now we're getting to the heart of it. These are the kinds of issues that can take that awesome honeymoon period and turn it into a really frustrating experience if you're not ready for them. These are the potential deal breakers. This comparison really says it all, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the pristine, perfect product shot from the website. And on the other, you've got the messy reality of what it looks like installed on an actual door being used every day. That's the gap we're talking about, the promise versus the reality.
So, let's frame this in a helpful way. Let's call this the How Not to Break Your New Locks guide. Seriously, these 3 mistakes are the reason behind almost all of the negative reviews you'll find online. Number 1, skipping the calibration step. It takes 5 minutes, just do it. 2, trying to update the firmware when you're not at home. And 3, ignoring that your door is misaligned. Avoid these and you're already way ahead of the game.
And let's talk a little more about those firmware updates. They're a double-edged sword. Yes, they can add cool new features and fix bugs. But if that update process gets interrupted for any reason, like your phone's Wi-Fi hiccups, it can temporarily brick the lock. So the rule of thumb is dead simple. Only, and I mean only, update the firmware when you are physically standing right next to the door.
And this leads us to a kind of controversial idea, but it's an important one. Sometimes, for a piece of your home's infrastructure, your front door, boring is actually better. A simpler lock with fewer bells and whistles might just be the more reliable choice if all you want is something that works, no fuss, no questions asked.
So after all that, the good, the bad, and the complicated, we get to the final verdict. What's the call? Who should actually go out and buy this lock?
And the verdict really boils down to this single sentence. The U100 is a great, powerful, feature-packed lock, but it is absolutely not a beginner lock. It works incredibly well if you set it up correctly, but it asks more of you than a simple set-it-and-forget-it product. This is a lock for the tinkerer, not the technophobe.
Let's just make it super clear. You are going to love this lock if you want that super fast fingerprint access, you actually enjoy setting up smart home automations, and you're comfortable with a little bit of setup and calibration. But you should probably skip it if you just want zero maintenance, works every time reliability, if you hate the idea of dealing with firmware updates, or if you don't want to have to buy a separate hub. In that case, one of those boring locks might be for you.
You could call it an honesty gap. Not that the company is lying, but there's a gap between who the marketing is for, which is everyone, and who the product is really for. And the reality is, this lock is for people who are comfortable with tech, who don't mind a bit of troubleshooting, and who actually like diving into the settings.
So I'll leave you with this final question, because it really gets to the heart of the entire smart home world. What would you rather have? More features, more power, and more customization, even if it comes with some occasional troubleshooting? Or fewer features, but with the peace of mind of rock-solid, zero-issue reliability? Your answer to that tells you everything